642. Maybe you've resolved to save money in the new year. One way to do that is by shopping for new home insurance. Well, listen to this. Amy Davis signed up with a new insurance company and then realized the low rate that sometimes you're offered can change without notice, Amy.
Yeah, exactly. So a few months ago when my policy expired, I shopped around, found what I thought was a good deal. So I generally pay in full for the whole year. But then weeks later, after the policy had already taken effect, I got a notification that there was a big increase. So I asked Jessica Fuentes with Brazos Insurance Agency why an insurance company might wait until after the policy takes effect to make changes.
So most carriers have about a 60-day underwriting period in which they can review all the stuff that the agent put on the application to get the rate that you were offered, right? So we are looking at a system and we're putting in all the data for your home and it spits back a number. This is how much it's going to cost to insure you. As long as all the data is factual, then technically there should be no changes. But sometimes, the system will pull automatically, hey, your home is made mostly of brick, and this is how many square feet it has. And even though the system has pulled that information, if you don't verify it, when the inspector goes out, there may be some differences. So sometimes, depending on how picky the inspectors are, sometimes they'll pull out their low wheel and measure the house. And they'll say, this is how the square footage I received, even though the square footage we received from the appraisal was this much. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but it can be a difference, right? The type of the roof. So like if we didn't pay attention to the shape or the type of shingle on the roof and we selected the incorrect information on the application, when the inspector goes out, he's going to correct it. And then he's going to report that to the insurance carrier and they're going to go, oh yeah, it's not this kind, it's this kind. And again, depending on if it's a more expensive shingle or a cheaper shingle, it'll change your replacement cost.
Right.
And your replacement cost in turn can change your premium. So that can be something that's really annoying to the client, but it's really I don't want to say it's the agent's fault, but we should be verifying the information with you before we go to issuing the policy. And sometimes inspectors are wrong, so like in your case, those weren't actually wood floors, they were wood laminate floors, and he made a call there, you know, and he put it on his information and sent it to the insurance carrier. If you don't take the time to review that information, because again, you got a notice that just said changes,
right?
It didn't say exactly what changed. So if you had been given something that said exactly what it was, you would have said, hey, no, not this, right? And a lot of people just see it and pay the bill, you know, they don't. In your case, it was a whole lot more, but sometimes they'll get a bill that's only 25 more and they'll go, okay, yeah, I'll just pay it, right?
And so I thought it sounded an awful lot like bait and switch, right? Because I signed on at this price on these conditions, and then if you're going to change it on me, I felt like you knew that your inspector came out before the policy even took effect, so you could have told me then and then gave me the option of going with the next lowest,
a lot of times these inspectors and the underwriters, they're not very good at talking to each other, right? So they'll turn in their reports and then it'll take the underwriter, sometimes weeks to review that information and give the agent a notice and say, hey, this is what we found in the inspection. This is what you have to talk to your client about. So sometimes that can take a longer time, which is why it's important as the agent to pay attention to that underwriting period, because it's kind of a little game we play. You have 60 days to tell me if something needs to be changed. After those 60 days, they're stuck on that risk. And depending on the carrier, obviously, they have different underwriting periods, but most of them are 60 days.
So also when you're looking for new rates, consider maybe what's changed in your life since you last shopped around. Like if your credit score is improved, you may be able to get a better rate. On click2houston.com, areas to look for discounts and how to check insurance company reviews. Here's the QR code where you can download the free KPRC2 Plus app now. That way you can see all these stories wherever you are when you're on the go.
Yeah, that's an important one too. Boy, I never thought about that underwriting period as being just so important. That's first 60 days.
I mean, I learned the hard way. I was like, wait a minute.
No kidding.
So.
Geez, good to know.